Good morning, and welcome to day 24, I think. Well, I got out of that roadside pull-out campsite this morning. I'm following this road on the west side of, I think it might be the Atluck River. The main road is on the other side of the river, and this is kind of a abandoned road. And I'm not sure if this road is going to go all the way until it connects with a bridge to the other side where I need to be. In the satellite imagery, it looks like it might just peter out, as I've seen many times on this trip already. In which case, I will have to decide whether I want to bushwhack to the end of the road, or if I want to ford the river or paddle across. I don't know if it's big enough to paddle across, but it might be too deep to just walk across, so I'll have to paddle if that's the case, which is kind of annoying, but that's one thing that packrafts are great for, crossing rivers. It was really cold this morning. I woke up and had to put on my puffy pants and puffy jacket when I was still in bed. I think I need to stop this afternoon and dry out my sleeping bag. It didn't get wet really, but it's just not lofting like it should. So I think the buildup of condensation over the past several nights has just gotten into it. I'm in a very humid climate here, so almost every night there's condensation inside the tent, even when I leave the doors open. I chose a down bag for this trip because of the lighter weight and better packability and longer lifespan. I've never actually owned a synthetic sleeping bag, but I did choose a synthetic puffy jacket and pants, and those have come in handy. Mostly the jacket, but there have been a few times when I've been glad to have had the puffy pants, and they weigh very little, so I'm pretty happy with them. Also this morning I kept hearing something crashing around in the bush. It was probably just a deer, but once you hear twigs breaking and things rustling around, definitely bigger than a bird. It's hard to get back to sleep when that's going on outside your tent. So I didn't really have a great sleep. That's kind of par for the course. This road is kind of creepy and weird. Last night I passed several vehicles. I can't tell if they're abandoned or if they're just being stored out here. One of them had no insurance sticker. Another had an insurance sticker that expired 4 years ago. And then at one site, it looked like they were making cedar shingles, and there was a sign that had a picture of a surveillance camera, and it said, "All activities are monitored by video." Kind of weird, way out here in the middle of nowhere. It's not private property. See, these are the cedar blocks that they use to make shingles. This is a pretty steep climb. Must be a logging road. No normal road is this steep. I seem to be back in the good graces of the weather gods after they gave me a pretty good slap back in Strathcona Park. It's been pretty nice since then. It's kind of a cool landscape. Well, I've climbed unintentionally up this mountain. I started way down there in the valley bottom, and the road has been climbing up and up and up. And I thought, oh, that's weird. I thought it just followed the river. And then it started to turn back the other way, and I was like, that's not right. So I pulled out the map, and sure enough, the road that I thought I was on was totally overgrown. I didn't even see the intersection, and I went off on a different road. So I've climbed up a fair amount. If I want to backtrack and then get to the other side of the river, it would take me about an hour to get to the equivalent point across the river. And I don't really want to do that. So I think I'm going to try to bushwhack down. It'll probably take at least the same amount of time, but it'll be more interesting. My only hesitation is that it might be difficult to get across the river because I'm in this limestone unit, the Quatsino limestone that the caves were in and the sinkholes and stuff. And as you can see back there, it's very steep and bluffy. So down in the river, if I'm still in the same unit, the river could be a canyon down there. But I don't really want to backtrack all that way and just to walk on a logging road. So I'm gonna give this a try. I might end up having to backtrack, but at least it's an adventure. And I got a nice view out of it. I think that's Pinder Peak over there, poking up behind the ridge, the mountain that I was looking at yesterday. On second thought, I've decided to backtrack. If it was early in the trip, I might just go for it, but having a closer look at these bluffs, I know it's just gonna take a long time to pick my way down. I have about 100 or 200 vertical meters to get down these cliffs to the river, and then I would have to get across the river and then up the other side, and that could take half a day. Whereas if I just backtrack, as much as it pains me to do it, it'll only take an hour to get to the same point. So I'm gonna do that instead. It's beautiful up here though. I love these limestone formations. That's the road I came up, and it does a big switchback here. I'm standing on what used to be a road. Not only is this area extremely steep and difficult limestone, but it's also been clear cut. So there's slash lying everywhere. And then there was a forest fire. So it's all charred, and I just don't want to be walking through all that. Whoa! Just about fell in a hole there. Trying to get back to the road that's not totally overgrown. Like this one is. Okay. Just beautiful rocks though. Here's some nice bedding. This is the road that I thought I was on and was planning on taking. As you might be able to see, it's been ditched and it's completely overgrown. So I'm not even gonna bother. I've done a ton of that already on this trip, and I know how it goes. I just have to backtrack a little bit, but experience shows that that'll be faster than pushing through that, and it'll be much more pleasant because the bush is still soaking wet from the dew. Lots of bear poo. Well, I'm back where I started, and it's 9:45 now, so I still have to backtrack the part that I did last night and get across the river. So I'm back on the east side of the river now, back on the main road, and it's a road. That's where I was up there. It's 10:30 now, and I'm just across the river from where I climbed up to there, those limestone bluffs. And it looks like it would have been pretty challenging getting down, so I think I made the right call. I need to get some water. I'm gonna try and find my way down to this creek. Old skidder. This is a pretty cool landscape. Still in the limestone, clear cut, plus forest fire and blazing hot sun. I'm not too sure what's going on here. My map shows that the Atluck Main is that way, and the sign shows that it's that way. So I'm not super sure where to go. I'm gonna go that way and see if it looks like it's looking right, but I'm a little bit confused at the moment. Well, I've reached this bridge. It seems to be the right road, regardless of what the name really is. It's heading in the direction I want to go, so I'm just going to continue on this, and hopefully things will start making sense. I'm on this road, and I found another bottomless pothole. Check this out. This is my trekking pole. It's all the way in, and there's still room to go. Just taking a little break here in the shade. It's about 2:30 p.m. and I just saw my first vehicle and my first people of the day. Not a lot of people use these roads out here. Vancouver Island is really a maze of logging roads. Once you get out past the popular spots, it's pretty empty. It's pretty cool. The roads just become wide trails. Well, that was really cool. I needed to get some water, and I saw on my map that there was a waterfall up the road, so I kept walking. I thought I had passed it, but then I saw a little trail off to the side of the road, and it was kind of overgrown, but I followed it down, and not only was there a waterfall, but it's a waterfall into a cave. And not only that, but the rocks were full of fossils. They're 200 million year old seashells. So that was pretty cool. Mike, I got a little something for you. And I lay out my sleeping bag to dry out for a while and had a nice lunch down there. And it was nice and cool down in the creek bed right at the mouth of a cave. Great place to have lunch on a hot day. It's my first look at the Benson River. Not enough to paddle down, but encouraging. Well, as of that intersection back there, I have rejoined my intended route. I've already walked over 32 kilometers today, or 20 miles. I have about an hour left to get to a lake, but I might just try and find a nice spot by the river down there. We'll see.